I'm not sure why exactly so many SCVs were pulled off of the Terran player's base, other than, I'm sorry, is there a DT attacking him somewhere? Oh, it looks like he is going to take down the destructible rocks at the ramp here, which will give him another way to access this high ground expansion out here in the middle of the map. So that DT, of course, doing a lot of damage, is going to be able to take down those destructible rocks by himself in not too long. But once again, chipping away at it. And it looks like the Terran player Revan is going to move out. He's got 3 Marauders and 8 Marines on the map right now. And he needs to do some serious damage here because he is very quickly falling behind in the econ game. And you can see that there is a proxy pylon out by this xel'naga watchtower. So he's going to warp in some units and try to do some damage. Although he has nothing defending his base right now. So once again, this infantry army going to move up in here and do some damage. One zealot getting fired down before it's even able to really finish working in and do any damage. And these DTs coming back to defend again. I'm sure he does have enough for a scan. Yeah, there goes the scan. But the question is he going to have enough to continue this assault and be able to take on DTs? Because I'm sure that's exactly what he's going to try to defend with. Oh, and trying to focus fire down that pylon once again. Although I'm not sure he's going to get it. Yeah, he is going to back out of the base, and this DT continuing to do some more damage here. So the DT is really being the salvation for the Protoss player this game. I'm surprised to see that the Terran player does not yet have a Raven out on the map so that he can have mobile detection and not have to rely on those scans from his base, because of course that energy could be used for mules, which would allow him to get steadier income from his main base. But those DTs moving in conjunction with this stalker going to do a little bit more damage, and this DT actually has 6 kills already. So once again, the DT is just doing a lot of work here, and Revan is still unaware of this high yield expansion that JCho has. So he is probably not at all aware of how far behind he is in this game right now. But looking at the production overlay here, we can see that zealot attack, or rather ground army attack, +1 is being researched right now, which will aid in making all of his current units stronger. He does not have any robotics facility or Stargate units, so that upgrade will apply to absolutely everything in his army right now. And it looks like that upgrade just finishing, so he is going to push into the Terran player's base again. And actually, it looks like he is putting up another expansion at high yield. He is taking the high yield over by Revan's base, so he is going to have control of the main bases on this map, being those high yield bases, going to be able to do a lot of damage. And I'm not sure why Revan's moving out right now, because if he gets too far away from his base, this army could very easily run him over. But he's going to continue to press, even though there are some DTs in the mix here. I'm not sure if he has enough scans here. Yeah, he does have a scan, but it looks like the Protoss player has enough units that he's going to be able to take this Terran army out, despite the fact that he can see his DT. So moving up the ramp now, I'm sorry, he's going to back off for some reason. Not sure exactly why he decided to back off there, as there is only 1 Marauder and 1 siege tank on the high ground, although it looks like siege mode has finished for the tanks. So he is going to siege up, and that will be able to protect the entire width of the ramp leading into the front of his base. So very easily going to be able to defend that with just a few units here on the ramp now. But JCho continuing to take a lead in the econ, and as we can see on the production overlay, researching ground weapons level 2 now. So he will be getting a lot more DTs here, it looks like, and is going to try to continue with this ground pressure. Although with these 2 turrets and the units up on top, I don't think he's going to be able to break this entrance down with just DTs. He's going to need to use some kind of maybe a warp prism drop in the back of the base, or some air units to try to take down this front entrance, because with the way he's fortifying this front ramp here, it's going to be very difficult for him to just get up there with melee units, especially DTs, when they have this when they have these detectors up on the front to detect those cloaked units. But a lot of cannons here. Wow, I did not see all of these go up, but a huge amount of cannons going here at the front entrance. It looks like 11 cannons and another 3 here on the back. He may be trying to break down these rocks here shortly so that he can get up into this high yield base. And as you can see, that is exactly what he's doing, and putting down a few more gateways here as well. So it looks like he is going to try to keep up with his macro game by producing more gateways, which would allow him to warp in more units at a time. And he has a decent amount of stalkers here coming to join his Dark Templars, and a couple of zealots here as well. So I'm actually kind of surprised too to see that he has not started researching either Blink or the Zealot charge ability, because since he has a large number of stalkers as well now, that would actually suit him very well with this current army composition. And those DTs going to try to move up, and they're thinking that there is no detection now, but of course there is the 1 turret on the other side here. Although those DTs able to take it down quick enough that they can get in there, but the Terran army able to take them down relatively quickly once they actually make it into the base. and the Stalker's going to try to move up in here as well now, it looks like. But once again, there's just too much Terran infantry and these two tanks enforcing this ledge, so he is not going to be able to get up there and do any significant damage at all. So he actually lost a decent amount of units there, and the Terran did not lose much at all. Looking at the units lost tab, we can see that the Protoss player has lost over 2,000 resources more than the Terran player, which is actually a pretty big deal. Although luckily for the Protoss player, he does have 2 high yield bases out on the map. So, and the first high yield base almost actually mined out already. So that is a big deal for the Terran player, because he has not expanded at all yet, and he's at this point not even aware that the Protoss player has expanded. Just now getting some Vikings out on the map, sees that there is no expansion in the upper left, but I would imagine he is going to see this high yield base here very shortly, as he does catch that assimilator and is now seeing all the probes. He has got to be aware that at this point he is in bad shape in the econ game, and these probes going to move out and take down, no, just barely managing to get those Vikings up. That Viking has 1 hit point, 1 more split second on the ground, and it would have been toast. But it looks like the main base being mined out for JCho, and the high yield expansion also getting mined out here. And this one lone zealot is going to move out and try to take on these 2 Vikings. Of course, 1 Viking going down very quickly because it only had 1 hit point, but warping in some Stalkers as well here to help defend against this. And it looks like JCho is going to be putting up a Nexus up at the lower right corner here, taking this extra expansion. So he is just dominating the econ game, and he can pretty much afford to lose almost as many units as he wants to at this rate, because he has kept Revan from expanding at all, and has just pretty much expanded across the whole map himself. At this point, Revan's going to be hard pressed to even take his natural expansion, just because of how much of the map JCho controls. So we'll see if he's able to move out and take a base here. It looks like he is actually, no, I'm sorry, I think he was just lowering that supply depot. No, he is going to push out right now. So going to move out with his infantry army here, possibly try to do some damage, or actually, no, it looks like he's just blocking off that ramp. So this is apparently going to be a pretty passive game for the most part. Revan deciding he does not want to move on the map, and JCho for the most part deciding he does not want to try to invest any serious effort in pushing up that ramp. And it looks like Revan is just going to be pretty much starved out of the map at this point, because he does not have hardly any money, and finally getting a Raven overhead, so he will have mobile detection for DTs, although at this point we do not see any DTs in this unit composition right now. And as we look at the unit overlay here, we can see he has strictly got Zealots and Stalkers for the time being. So that Raven coming out just a little bit too late, although I'm sure it'll be nice to hold on to just in case he needs it later in the game. Although no, I'm sorry, it looks like he got focus fired down. So losing that Raven Revan had a Raven that lived very shortly. But anyways, he does have the 2 tanks still up on the high ground. It looks like getting some Banshees as well. Although if you look at his main base here, he is just nearly mined out and has not even made a significant effort to expand yet. He does have a command center built, but has not moved it out. I'm sure he is afraid of this Protoss army, which is moving in on him and trying to do some damage with these Banshees, but I don't think it's going to be enough, because there are just too many Stalkers and Zealots. Although it looks like the Protoss player going to back off once again here. I'm not sure exactly what the holdup is here, but he apparently does not want to take him out. And a lot of probes over here trying to take down these destructible rocks and take the base in the upper left-hand corner to continue to expand his economy. And it looks like he's actually moving his entire army back to his base, and going to be producing some Phoenixes, so that he can, I'm guessing he's going to use the, what's that called? The Gravitron beam to lift these tanks up, so that he can actually take those out and get up there. But now Revan moves out and sees that the high yield base next to his base has actually been taken. So he is starting to get a feel for just how far behind he is economically, and he will actually shortly see, if he doesn't already, he is going to see this high ground base as well. So Revan finally seeing just how bad a shape he's in as he tries to fly this command center out, and he's building another command center, but he is out of money. He only has 120 left in this last mineral patch, and he only has 250 in the bank, so he is pretty much done. As his last 2 Banshees over here getting fired down, and Revan is going to GG before he even gets killed. So basically it looks like JCho just starved him out of the map and forcing him to quit. So we're going to move on to game number 2. JCho is up 1-0.